First story. I, 46M, have been heartbroken by my wife, 44F, for many painful reasons. But what do I do because she is emotionally and financially dependent on me? And I still love her. We've been together for 25 years, 23 of them married. I have loved her since I met her. Her humor, her personable gifts, her self-sacrifice for friends, her eyes, her smile, her physical attributes too, her positivity and natural talents. She's great, everyone loves her. But things became harder ever since we got married. First, she tells me 2 months after marrying me that she and my old best friend were romantically involved 1 time a year and a half earlier and he pressured her. I didn't believe it. I was still in love, and the way she made it sound like a one-time thing, I forgave her. She cried a lot of tears and I genuinely was moved by the way she expressed herself. I was incredibly overwhelmed by my work at that time, and I'm really good at pushing my feelings down, so I let it go. Even though I thought there was more, I didn't have the strength to confront it. I also felt I didn't have the right to not forgive someone who says they're sorry when I have often asked God and people around me for forgiveness for my mistakes. Then things got worse. I took a career opportunity and dragged my wife to a foreign country when she clearly didn't want to go. I messed up and was young and regret it. It clearly made her resentful and bitter. She came with because we're married and she wanted to follow me since I was providing financially and we like being close. We still live in this country and I'm happy, and she's become a lot happier. We travel 4 months a year because my work is remote, and we have seen the world together. We have many special memories. But we still have to fly home to see her family twice a year, and I'm getting tired of it. I want her to spend more time with them, but she refuses to go alone. I even suggested she go get certified and I'll pay the education and living costs for her. I can easily afford it. She won't go without me. Ever since we got married, she has tried to control me, emotionally manipulate me, and reacted physically when I set up clear boundaries she didn't like. She has done many positive things and supportive things like encourage me, and make me delicious food and write me cards and support with housework. And I don't take her support for granted, but honestly I can do most of this for myself. It would make me happier to see her take on life and go after her dreams and not sit around waiting for me to finish working hard on my dreams. I also love the life I've created for myself, and I don't want to fly home with her twice a year, but she won't go without me. Here's where things became a problem. In our 2nd year of marriage, we had many massive fights which ended in her raising her voice and getting physical. I was far from perfect, but I never verbally attacked her nor physically and always remained patient. Even when she forcibly pushed me out the house and locked the door while I was in my underwear. Her mom was abusive, so I made more excuses for her. I didn't forgive her, but I kept trying to make my marriage work. Until one day, I had had enough and had the guts and self-worth to leave for a week. She was mortified and hasn't touched me physically ever since she saw me stand for that boundary. At first she resisted, but now she knows if I feel disrespected I can just get up and take space, and she has recognized the behavior and worked very hard to overcome it. Again, I was proud of her for growing into a better person. The biggest deal breakers up until that point I believe we worked through with strong leadership and boundaries from me. Also, as we've grown we've developed very different interests. Also, she has been getting therapy to work through her childhood trauma, which I'm proud of her for. Also, she is starting to take a career path seriously and is working out every day and working on nutrition. I admire how much she has grown from the immature girl that I first married and who she is now. It makes me feel like holding on and giving her time to grow. But here's where things just went completely nuts. 6 months ago, I found her messages with that guy she was with, and the story was completely different. Not only did they have an emotional relationship over text for 18 months, 6 months of that relationship was after we got married. And after she told me the fake story, she was still texting him pink cheek emojis, meaning he was her side guy for attention and emotional support while she was saying the vows. There wasn't much physically. I know because he lives on the other side of the world. And there was only 1 month they were together, 8 months before we got married, just 5 months before I proposed. No doubt they got up to no good. He eventually had enough of being her muse and she gave up texting him. He ended it. This isn't the way someone with guilt behaves. She lied throughout dating, she lied on our marriage vows, she lied when she told me a small part of the truth. She lied until last year by hiding it from me. When I confronted her, she at first denied it, called me someone she can't trust for snooping on her phone, and then deleted her chat with him. I have the whole thing saved somewhere anyway. Very immature behavior. I took 2 weeks apart and when I came back she was on the floor begging for forgiveness and that she'll never do it again. She has never looked that broken. I think she lied because of fear and because of immaturity. But Mon, how can you say your wedding vows and lead someone into a life forever with you while hiding that? I can't forgive her. I love her. Can't forgive her. And I have seen changes from her. She encourages the conversation. She listens to me share how she hurt me. She has even told me if leaving is what I want, she'll support and be helpful. Thanks, Ha. It pains me to see this person who I still love dearly mess her life up and hurt the people who are there for her. I know she is going to grow into an amazing person one day. But do I want to be there for it? If she had her independence, I don't think I'd struggle so much. I feel responsible for her. And I still love her. I see the potential. To separate divorce, she'd have to go home and start her adult life almost from scratch alone without me. But I can't see a future hope for us together. I am terrified of having children with her. I am terrified of waking up at 35 and feeling how I do now with 10 years less of my youth. I'm scared of ruining her life. I love her so much. I don't want to see that. Reddit, I just want an outside perspective from you, please. Has anyone been through something similar? How did you cope, make it through? I want some advice on what's ahead and how I can move ahead in the most loving way possible. And if there's anything I could still try to save our relationship, I'm willing to try for 6 more months. Thank you for reading. I'm tired of being lost in my feelings in silence. And I'm tired of hating myself for the situation I'm in. Scary to think she is capable of doing that, and I wouldn't put it past her to do something like that with my current trust issues with her. The fact I even think she is capable of trying to baby trap me tells me there's no way to save this. My gut was telling me this already, but you put it in words. Sounds like you lived out what I see my future looking like if things don't change. I don't want children, but I'm 46. I know in my future, I will want children and will spend my middle age fighting to protect them and help them grow up healthy. They deserve better. I asked myself, okay, I can tolerate it. But would I put my son through it? And it becomes much clearer. Update. Wife cheated on me while dating, hid it, and I found out years later. Already tried reconciliation, now leaving. See previous post if you want context. I tried to reconcile. Couldn't do it. I have no trust for her. I realized I'm just holding on cause of how intertwined our lives are socially and because she's dependent on me financially, but that's it. No kids. No estate. Clean slate. The only hard part is she has no education or career, and so I'm concerned she's going to struggle paycheck to paycheck. I suppose that's her problem, but I still feel a lot of empathy cause I still love her. But I know this won't work. Trust is gone. And I don't want the relationship anymore. Told her last week I'm done. Packed up my stuff. Took a flight to Japan. Now just dealing with my own stuff for a bit, then I'll contact a lawyer. Still wake up every second day and doubt myself and if I really shouldn't try one more time with her. She seems to be sorry and has said so millions of times. But she never would have told me unless I found out. She's just sorry she got caught and isn't loyal or respect for me. She also says this is not an excuse, but I was also young, damaged little girl. I don't believe age plays a factor in loyalty. Maybe it was a temptation for her based on childhood triggers. But I was tempted many times and I never acted on it. I would never want to be unfaithful. I guess if I have any question it's, how do I push through this last phase of filing for divorce now? I'm getting cold feet following through with the divorce. I'm okay, but I still love this girl and don't want to shatter her life. I feel somehow guilty that I'm going to hurt someone I love. I love her, but she clearly only loves the comfort and affection I give. She doesn't love me, or at least doesn't respect me. Say, I've exhausted my options. I really feel like I tried for 2 years to work through everything and yet I still feel like a failure for this failed marriage. What if I had set boundaries earlier? What if I had been better? What if? This is the hardest thing I've ever done, but I'm not tolerating bullshit from this woman and letting her take my life and financially abuse me and get child custody. And more importantly than everything else, I'm doing this for my future kids. I won't bring my dear children into that toxic, selfish environment. That's what I'm afraid of and expect. Whenever she gets a real chance and doesn't have to worry about her security. If she had a good job and good colleagues and didn't need me, I don't think she'd be loyal, unfortunately. Damn, it's so hard to accept that she's a narcissist cause the person she portrays when she's happy is kind and loving and gentle. I've tried getting on the same page with communication. She behaves kindly for a while but then gets bratty again. She has never respected me, unfortunately. And the cheating was really the last straw. I was already feeling unloved and disrespected. I pulled so much weight and built a life for us, while she was flirting with my friends and talking about me behind my back. She's sorry only now cause she got caught, and because I have an amazing life and financial situation she won't get any of if we divorce. I don't know if she'll cheat in our current isolated situation. But I think if she had an easy opportunity she probably wouldn't turn around and say she never felt loved or cared for anyway and blah blah. I can see her turning on me like that. Basically my thoughts? She's only around for the comfort. I'm a safe choice. She even said that to him once. I read the messages. Nah, fuck that. I'm somewhat glad logically she revealed all this before I dedicated my entire life and had kids with her. I'm so young and I'm doing very well financially. It's just awfully painful to do all of this. It's such a mess emotionally. I'm struggling to pull the plug. But I live apart now and have told her it's over. Baby steps, but I'm moving forwards. Second story. My girlfriend of 18 years cheated on me with my childhood best friend. For some context, I've been dating the same girl since the 8th grade and am now 31 and she is 30. My childhood best friend introduced us unknowingly when I went to a party with him and met my girlfriend 18 years ago. Around 2 years ago, before she moved to a different state to go to university for her PhD. She broke up with me very suddenly and started a sexual relationship with a coworker who was also in a relationship. I didn't know the other person, but I do know she was talking to him while we were dating. We ended up only being broken up for maybe 2 weeks, and she came back to me trying to use her being unsure about our future as an excuse for what she did. Being young and naive, I took her back and pushed down the fact. It made me very insecure and hurt my trust immensely. I ended up moving with her to where she attends university. We've grown to become very close in our young adulthood. I had the intentions of proposing to her this year. We came back to our home state for the summer maybe 3 months or so ago. The whole time we've been back home for the first month and a half. My childhood best friend has hung out with us as a trio almost every day. I noticed weird things every so often between the two of them, but I didn't think too much of it. I thought my now ex was just happy to have someone around that we could spend time with together. There were occasions where I expressed to her that I didn't want to spend so much time with him and that I wanted to enjoy alone time with her. Her immediate response was anger, telling me her social battery is longer than mine and that she wants to have fun. Around a month and a half ago she acted the same way she did the first time she randomly broke up with me. She became very distant and told me she wanted space from me. For the first couple weeks, while the whole situation was playing out, she kept reassuring me that nothing was going between the two of them. On maybe 3 different occasions, I felt terrible as hell. But I would confront her and express that if she's doing anything with my friend, or being flirtatious in any capacity, to please be honest and tell me, because it would absolutely crush me. She reassured me each time and acted like I was crazy for even bringing it up. She even said that she told him I was worried about them doing stuff, and she said he told her that he was offended I said that and would never do something like that. Lo and behold, they're now sleeping with one another, a big fucking joke that all was to her. I knew they were hanging out in secret because I had both of their locations, and I could tell he was turning his off whenever he would see her in secret. I didn't say anything to him because I believed her, and I trusted him to not take advantage of her or be manipulated by her, which is what happened. She made me out to be some terrible person to him, and he believed it all. The day I found out what was going on, she picked me up at my house and we went out to breakfast like normal, like nothing was wrong. She made some weird comment about not knowing if she wanted to be in a relationship her whole 20s, and in my head I'm thinking, okay, WTF is going on? 4 days before we went out to breakfast, I guess she and him were spotted together with my friend group acting like a couple in front of everyone. No one had told me what was going on because they were confused. WTF, they just witnessed. Anyways, breakfast was okay. She was acting really weird around me. I could pick up on the vibe. We got back to her house and talked for a little. I didn't pick up on anything too weird. When she went to the bathroom, I checked her Mac because the messages sync over from her phone to her computer. I found out she was flirting with him and had gone over to his house multiple times doing God knows what. That's when I discovered him saying to her, "Think of the high keys I left you." Remember the man with light skin tone face palming? I lost my mind. I couldn't handle what she had done to me. I acted in a violent way towards her when I discovered the extent to how much I was manipulated. I've never felt that way in my life before. She's cheated on me in the past, like I mentioned before, but this felt so personal from 2 of the closest people to me, and I didn't know how to handle it. I expressed to her multiple times that if she does something with him, I don't know how I'll react. I'll either do something to myself or to someone else, and she still did it anyways. The both of them now use the way I acted as an excuse to not care about what they're doing, and they both are doing it because it makes them feel happy in the moment. She's leaving in a month or so to go back to school. It's not like the relationship they have now will even last. I feel like they both want to hurt me as much as possible, and it makes me feel insane. I'm struggling to handle the emotions it makes me feel. After I acted the way that I did, she drove me home and told me she never wanted to see me again or have any kind of relationship with me. She told me she isn't comfortable with being with anyone alone, yet she's around him alone constantly. It's all an excuse to make herself feel better for what she's doing. She wants to shift all the blame on me to make herself feel better. I haven't spoken to her in a week now almost. I'm unable to hang out with my friend group because my now ex and ex-best friend act like a couple in front of everyone every chance they get whenever everyone hangs out together as a group. I don't know what I should do anymore. I put all of my eggs in one basket with her. I'm going to have to move back home. I can't continue to live with her anymore. I work from home, so the job situation isn't a big deal, but I still have all of my belongings in a different state. Third story. Need to vent and need advice. My 51M wife, 49F, been married 29 years. She been having an on and off affair with bunch of guys since she has been with me. First time around she kissed a dude we knew from school, who hated me. Whilst we were on a break, I forgave her, and half a year after that she got really close to my best childhood friend. Our friendship had been fading, but he was still my friend, and his friends and her now friends started all hanging out together. I was upset and had my suspicions about their closeness. One day, I snooped through her phone and saw a conversation of them both flirting, even speaking about me and her, saying I'd be mad if they hung out one-on-one on her phone. I also found that she was visiting swinger site when she swore she didn't. She said she used to have an addiction but didn't anymore. I confronted her, and she denied it all and tried to gaslight me. I broke up with her, and the second I left her, she went to be with my childhood friend. She swore she didn't like him or anything like that, yet 3 days later, she blew him up. And a day later they slept to each other. We have a dead bedroom issues based on my erectile dysfunction, had not had sex for a long time. Fast forward some months, I forgave her again and things went pretty smoothly, apart from the fact that I found her Snapchat with several guys on her phone, and she was already slept with 4 guys, and the other guys also arranged for the lineup encountering. I should also mention this during time we been not intimate, but one dat she initiate closest and blow me off. Later on I found out I got Gamara. Fast forward almost 7 years, and she cheated on me again with her coworker. They continued to mess around after me and her broke up. Throughout all of this she has always sworn I am the love of her life and she loves me more than anything, and that she will change and be better for me, and that she doesn't deserve me. She comes from a very troubled background, had a very rough childhood, unlike myself. So she tends to self-sabotage her relationships a lot. She always tries to convince me to get back with her. And despite this, now I've found out that whilst she went on holiday and was trying to get me back, she got into drinking and kissed 2 guys. She also slept with one of them. Me and her both have always despised alcohol, and I am disgusted by her actions throughout the whole relationship. I have always been the absolute perfect husband. I was the only one there for her. I know her deepest, darkest secrets and traumas she has not told anyone ever. I constantly showered her with compliments, paragraphs, nice words, letters, notes, gifts, was extremely loyal to her, was supportive. I cooked for her, brought her jewelry, bought her all designer clothes, always was attentive, texted back immediately. And I defied my parents' rule of no dating for her, and did everything possible to see her as often as I could. She destroyed me emotionally, and despite it all, and despite what I've been through prior and during the relationship with my family, I never failed her. My self-esteem is shattered. I am completely hopeless and depressed. I still want to be with her and I love her. Only she knew my love language is sex, and she is very good with them, and that draws me to her. Even more, I have tried no contact and we always end up talking again. She has given me so much anxiety and stress. I've lost so much weight at times where she's mistreated me, and there have been times where I have not even been able to eat, get out of bed or sleep because of how heartbroken I am. I have even slept with her after this recent breakup. It has now been 2 months, and I am considering taking her back even though she is moving away to England. She will be back every couple months, which I know is a terrible decision. But I literally cannot live without her and her love. I find no worth in myself if she is not there, and I do not know what to do anymore. I am new to this channel. Somebody please give some advice or words of support. I barely have any friends and my family is not supportive of me at all. I have nowhere to go with this pain. It has been many years of this and I do not know what to do. I am convinced I'll never connect with anyone as much as I do with her or love anyone the same ever again.